Hey everybody, welcome to day number 16 of the AI Agent Challenge. My name is Dylan. I help entrepreneurs win the game of business by upgrading their systems with AI agents and automated workflows. In this episode, I'm actually going to be running you through a system that one of my clients have asked me to build for him. And this is going to be an example build, but I want to show you what's possible with it on how to automatically get reviews for your Yelp page or your Google review page, and being able to filter through text messages to figure out if they are a good fit and they give you a good feedback to send them off to the page. And if they're not a good fit, then to alert the CEO or the owner of the company so that they could follow up directly to make sure that they have a good relationship with their clients. So if that sounds interesting, let's get into it, shall we? All right, we are here with make.com, and this is the AI Agent Challenge folder, and we have days 1 through 15 all lined up here, and we're going to start day number 16 by creating a new scenario. We're going to title this day 16. We're going to call it ClickUp to Review. And what we're going to be using is there always needs to be a place where your clients live. There's different CRM systems, whether it's HubSpot or Go High Level or ClickUp or Airtable or whatever it might be. But I love using ClickUp because it's kind of like an all-in-one solution for activities and being able to use these systems. So if we go to ClickUp here, you can take a look at it. It has amazing API integrations, AI integrations, and all that jazz. But what we have here is ClickUp right here. What I created right now is just a couple of test names inside this thing called spaces. Now you can see that every customer has a space inside of here. So I created a space right here for a review campaign example. And what I did inside of here is I populated it with some information. So if we were to delete these, just so you can kind of see a little bit of what this looks like, I'm going to delete these two sections here. So if we wanted to add a new customer, we'll add myself, Dylan Watkins, inside of here. And we can add any of these column fields that we want to add inside of here as well. So we have due date, let's just say the service. And we're going to say what this is for a professional mechanic that works on heavy machinery. That's what my client does. And this is one of the things that they're looking for. So let's just say the due date for us to do the event is today. Let's just say that the event for the service job was due today. We can populate their phone number. And I'll put in my number here, 7381, and email. I'll put this in. There we go. And we're going to say the job description was overhauling an engine. Cool. And we'll call this, put my company name in here, just like that. Now, if we want to add additional rows inside of here, all you got to do is click down here and you can add additional rows. There's all these different types of things that is really powerful. And one of the things I love about it, it also has a searchable knowledge base. It automatically has vectorized memory. So you can ask the AI anything about any of your spaces and it pulls up the data. So there's amazing automated workflows in here. I might do an entire video on ClickUp and all the automations you can do with this. I'm working with several clients in here to really scale their companies to go from 6 figures to 7 figures and beyond. So, but let's just say we want to add a new field inside of here. I could type a field name and let's just say I wanted to call that notes. I can add this right here and hit create field just like this. And this will automatically create a notes field for us inside of here. Sometimes it doesn't always populate. That means that there's an already existing note. So we go search fields. We'll type in notes right here. And we can see that there's a notes section right here. Just toggle this thing on. And now we have a section here for notes. And so you can move these things around. You can add in rating systems. There's a lot of great things we can do. But let's just say we don't want to see this notes section. Right click. We can hit remove from list or hide from list. We can hide the column if we want. We can leave that just like that. So let's just say that we have a CRM system, something like this, where the client has data coming in. Let's just add one more field so we have something in here. We'll call it Bob Smith. And let's just say Bob Smith is due next week. And then we're going to add in a fake phone number, 555. Cool. And we'll add in a fake email, bob@fakecompany.com. And we'll say this is oil change. Just like that. We'll call it Bob's Big Boy. Inc. There you go. All right, so we've got some data inside our CRM system right now with our customers. That's great. Now we're going to want to be able to access this by going into ClickUp. So if we go into ClickUp like this, all we need to do is find, or go into make.com, all we need to do is find the ClickUp module to be able to access that data. And what we're going to be looking for is we're going to look for list all tasks. So we're going to be looking for this as list all tasks, because whether they're a customer or they're a task or whatever, ClickUp identifies everything as tasks. We can rename it inside of the actual ClickUp, but just for clarity's sake, that's how you do it. Now, like with everything else, if you want to add your account and connections, you just click add. You add in the account, you're good to go. We're going to select this from the drop down. Workspace right here. And we're just going to select the space that we're going to be using right now, which is review campaign examples. Nothing else we really need inside of here except for folder lists. Now in ClickUp, you can create all of these folders that they can be nested down. And one thing I like about this, because I used to do Trello, and I ran 6 to 7 figure business building software and applications, and I did that all through Trello. But the thing is, ClickUp does it all. It's a Kanban board, it's a knowledge base, it's everything all in one. So I switched over to this at the beginning of the year, and I haven't looked back since. So we have the customer tasks that are inside of here, and you can see that these customer tasks are really these customers right here, inside of this system, inside of here, inside of this review campaign, right inside of here. So we're going to go back inside of make, and we're going to hit save. Oh, save anyways. Unsave changes. Did I not hit save? Oh gosh. Okay, we're going to scroll down here, click OK, so it's now saved. Click save. We're good to go. And now we could run this module to see what data we're getting back from this. We can see we got an output. We got Bob inside of here as one of the module items. We got Bob coming in, and we should be also getting the second bundle. There it is of my other. And so you can see all the data that you're going to get from ClickUp inside of here. Statuses, the order number. You can really drill down to all the information that we have inside of here that we can populate into any one of those columns. But what's useful about this is the fact that there's so much you can do with ClickUp for automations. Now let's just test just to see what is the data that we're going to be getting in. So we're going to make a set multiple variables module that's going to allow us to take a look at the data coming across so that we can add some items to see what's going on. So let's add in name as a variable. Go down here, and we could scroll down, but if I just type in name at the top, we can see we have the names. And the reason why we populate it with data is it allows us to see these points coming in. So we can see that task name's Bob Smith. So that is technically the name of the client. And we're going to want, because what we're going to be doing is a text message campaign. So what we're going to do is the day after the event, the day after the service, we're going to text our clients and see how they're doing. And when we text our clients, we're going to rate that. And then if they rate high, we'll encourage them to give us a review on our Yelp page. If they rate below, we'll notify the owner. So what we need also is the phone number. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to look for the phone number inside of here. We can type in phone, and there is the phone number. Go down here, phone. And the other items that we're going to probably want is the due date, when the service happened. Due date, just like that. And there's the due date. Go down here, click this, and we're going to add one more variable inside of here, and that is going to be what service happened. What was this? I think it was called service. Was it service? what do we call that? Job description. Job description. Great. Go down here. Type in job. That's job description. Excellent. We'll have this coming across. Now, if we run this, we should see those variables coming over. And this, when you have it set this way, you can see it's just a lot cleaner. We don't have all of the data coming through on ClickUp, which makes it a lot less confusing to parse through. And we can see all this stuff right inside of here. Great, so we can see all the information. Fantastic. So the next step in what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to send the client a text message that says, hey, you have a text message coming through. And we're going to go ahead and send that off right now. I'm going to create a text message right in here. And this is where we're going to be using the Twilio module. So Twilio is an amazing service. It's also a little bit of a pain in the butt lately to set up a campaign to get approved for it. I'm not going to cover that in this video, otherwise it'd be way, way too long. But the service that you want to use for all things text message related is Twilio right here. You can see inside of here, you can sign up for Twilio, you log in, you get started. And then once you do that, you're going to apply for a campaign under your name, and then you're going to get a phone number. Phone number is going to look something like this in here, where you're going to have a phone number that you can access inside of here. And to set up your Twilio module, they're going to ask you for your client ID and your access code. You can find that all inside of Twilio, which I'll cover probably in another video if you want me to. But we're going to go to Twilio, and we're going to go create a message. Since I'm already logged in, again, you would add the number this way, but we won't be doing that in this video. And we're going to say, select a phone number. And this is the phone number we have. And this is how we send the phone number to the client with the data that we currently have. So we can see that right here is Bob's phone number, his fake phone number. And maybe what I'll end up doing is maybe I'll just switch both numbers out to me so that I can get hit both times. I'm not pinging a fake number. We'll create a body here, and we can put in the message for Bob inside of here as something like, hi, and then we'll put in their name. So we'll go down here to name. And we can see it says Bob Smith, so we're going to want to probably split that name out. And I'll show you how to split the name out. If you actually have first name and last name in one and we just want to use the first name, I'll show you that in just a moment. But we'll just say this is a friendly checkup to see how your service was for, and then we can enter the job description here, which I think was like oil change. Yeah, oil change. And we can say on a level of 1 to 5, how was the service? We'll click OK, just like that. And so now we've got that set up. When we go and send this message over, it will populate through. But I'm just going to go in here. I'm just going to change this other number. It's trying to call me. Close that out. Edit. And we're just going to change it to my number just so we can have this work. All right. So both these numbers are mine. Great. Go back in here. Now, before I test that out, well, I'll show you what that looks like when I go to send it right now. I'm going to get 2 messages from the system because it's going to ping me twice. But we're going to hit run on this module, and we'll see what this looks like right now. It's going to come across, ping, ping, right? And you can see here, inside of here, and I'm just going to go to the big cam. You can see inside of here, hi, Bob Smith, friendly checkup, level 5, 1 to 5, how's that? Hi, Dylan Watkins, friendly checkup, see how your service was for the overall engine on level 5, how was that for you? Great. So we got that to work, but we're going to want to split up the name so that we're only getting the first name. And this is how you do that. It's a pretty cool function inside of here. And this is going to be the way that you're doing it. You're going to first want to split it by using the split function. And this is over here. I type in split function just like that. Shift that over. Hit enter. And what this does, it will it will split out information just based on what we have here. So I'm going to go over here. And if you highlight this, like you can see me highlighting this right here on here. If you see that highlight, I can copy it. I can't use Command X to just copy and paste, but if I do Command C, I can delete it, move it over, Command V, it comes across just like that. Now, we're going to want to split it. It's going to ask you, okay, where's the split happening? And we're going to use another function inside of here, keyword actually, called space. So I'm going to hit space just like that. And so the space between Bob Smith or Dylan Watkins is going to be where we're going to do the split. And we're going to want to get the first name. And the way we do that is with what's called the get function. So I'm going to go in here, type in get, and this is the get function. Now, I'm going to go, whenever I do this, like that, right there, I hit enter. There's the get function. And we're going to copy this, move this over the end. That didn't work, so let's do that. Just like that. And now we're going to get this variable here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put in 1. Because what this does here is you can take a look at this inside of this get function is we're grabbing the array of the first name, or just basically the name. We're splitting it out. And then 1 is, okay, when that split happens, what are we getting? We're going to get the first one in the array. An array is multiple things in a row, like an array of cameras or an array of anything. So 1 is the indexed of 1, which means it's just the first item that we're going to be getting. So we're going to be getting the first item, which is Dylan. So we're splitting Dylan Watkins with a space, and we're grabbing Dylan. If you want to grab the last name, you could do 2 instead. So I'm going to click OK. And so now we're going to be doing that, and we're going to be getting the first name. Here, I'll run that again just so you can see what that looks like. Run it one more time. Comes across. And we'll go to the camera. And you can see here now we have Bob and Dylan, just like that. Great. All right, so now that we have this, the tricky bit is we're going to want to be able to receive data back from this module and then be able to parse it out. So Twilio, and I'll show you how you can grab this. We're going to need to create a webhook inside of Make and be able to send that data back. So when the person texts us back, it comes back into our Make modules. And this is the way we're going to do that. So we're going to call this day 16A. There we go. Click Save. So we have that. And now we're going to make a second module. And so we're going to go into Make. All right. Log in. Scenarios. 30-day challenge. Create a new scenario. Day 16B. I'm going to call this review. No. Twilio to review. All right. Click Save. And now we have this new module. And this is where we're going to want to create a webhook that we can now send over from the other module. So we're going to double click this. We're going to go to webhook, and we're going to create a custom webhook. And we're going to give this name. We're going to call this one Yelp review. Click Save. And now we have this data right here. We're going to copy this address to the address board just so we have it, right? Just like that. And now we need to go into Twilio, and we're going to want to set this webhook. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. So if we go inside of Twilio just like this, and we click on the phone number right here. So we click on active numbers. We go into the number that we have. We go down here to the bottom, and what we're looking for is this webhook right here. The top one is for voices, for voice messages. We're not using voice message. We're just using text. So we'll go down here to the bottom. Message is coming in, and we're going to put in this webhook, the one that we just made right now. And we're going to hit Save Configuration. So now we have that successfully saved as a webhook. So whenever I text back, I'm going to go back into these Make modules, and I'm going to move this one over so that they're right next to each other, just like this. So right now this is waiting for me to configure it. So I just got back, or I'm just going to text it right now on my phone. I'm just going to text back a number 4. I hit enter. Boom. There we go. And you can see here, and I'm going to show you this again. Now it says accepted. This just lets you know that from Twilio, you've got an accepted message. So it's confirmed you have accepted. So we're going to need to be able to get rid of that accepted message so they don't get accepted every time they text. They're going to be just getting our response back. I'll show you how to do that. Click OK. So now we have this webhook. And if we want, we could rename this. If we want to rename this Twilio customer review response. There we go. Now, the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to create a webhook response. Okay. So we're going to go in here, custom webhook, and create a response to the webhook. What this is going to do, it's going to stop Twilio from texting back to our customer accepted, which is just kind of a weird message. We're going to go inside here, and we'll call this status 204. All right. And this is just going to break that message coming through. So now when we text it, we won't be getting back another response. So for example, I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to type in the number 4 again, send the message. Cool. Now, as you can see, I didn't get an accepted after that. So that's what's going to stop the whole like accepted message coming through. As you can see, what comes through. So we got the number coming through. The body of the message is 4. And now we can go on to the next step. We're going to want to create a router. And the router is going to separate out between messages that are above 4 as a high review, and then invite them to give us a review on Yelp. And messages below 4, 3 or below, is going to then message our owner and say, hey, this person wasn't happy. You might want to respond. We're going to do that by going into here, typing in router. So we can create a little separation. And this one is going to be another Twilio message. Click on this, create a message. Pick the phone number that we had from before. 2. And because we're getting all this metadata coming in for Twilio, we can grab the phone number that was coming back through. So if we go down here, we can see that this was my number. Put that in. And we can create the body of a text message. We can type in something like, assuming that they gave us a high score. That is great to hear. If you could give us a review on Yelp, it would mean the world to us. And then we're going to populate that with a link to Yelp. I'm going to grab my client's Yelp link right here. And there we go. So now they're going to receive that message, assuming that they gave us a positive feedback. And the way that we're going to filter this is I'm going to go into the filter right here, and we're going to call this if rated 4 or above. And we can say that the condition is if the body of the message is 4 or higher, then pass this one through. And so we can go to equals to. And this filter allows us to do a lot of different things, but we're going to be looking at is greater than or equal to 4. All right, so we click OK, and now we've got that on there. And the next message we're going to send is like, I'm so sorry. I gave you that. They didn't like it. Now, what we could do if we want to add like a little like additional steps on this, but I'm not going to just for brevity of this tutorial, is we could have this hit ChatGPT. We could create like an API assist that would filter through this, parse out the data, and then separate out all of the like, I'm super upset with you guys, this didn't work, and then kind of say, well, what would you rate that? And try to assign a number to that. But we're just assuming that they're just going to click back the number. But that's how you'd make it more robust. So we click in here, Twilio, create a message, phone number message, go in here, add this in, 2, go back down to the phone number, and then with the body, we're going to say create a body, and then we're going to say I'm so sorry to hear your service wasn't incredible. I'll let the owner know ASAP so he can reach out to you directly. Great. And we're going to hit OK with that. And we're going to add a filter right here. I want to name this if rated 3 or below. Conditions, we're going to feed in the body again. And then we can say, put in 3, scroll down to here, and we're looking for less than or equal to 3. That works. And I'm going to add in one more module right now so that we can send an email to the owner. And so we're going to type this in. I'm going to use my own email. This, and we're going to say send a message. Log in. Subject, there was a negative experience. Well, let's be more specific. Your service review yesterday was rated at a, I'll pump this thing in, the body. Let's do plain text right now. Hi, owner. We had a negative review of yesterday's service. They scored it at this. You may want to reach out to them at, and then we'll pump in the number again. Great. So now the owner's going to get that. Best, your AI assistant. All right. And we need to put in recipient, which I'll just dump in my email. All right, just like that. So now when this runs, if it's a 4 or higher, we're going to get a review. If it's a 3 or below, we're going to get sent off that message. So we're going to test it out. I don't want 2 phone numbers to come through on this one. So let's just do this right now. We'll delete this and we'll make another one again. I'll show you how to create a filter for that so that we can block that out. So we're only going to be sending this message off 1 day after the event. I'm going to come back to later because let's just test this flow and then I'll make that again and then I'll show you how this works. So we're going to delete that. So now we only got one going on right now. And we're going to go inside of here. We're going to run this module. So now we've got this module. I'm going to type in 4. We're going to see that go across. Oh, that didn't get triggered. What happened here? Web response. We caught that. Did this not hit? Nor did that hit. Body came through. Status 204. It was accepted, but this should pass this along. Let's space these out a little bit. We're going to run. We're going to try that again. I'm going to type in 4. Interesting. Neither one of these are says that's not 4. That's not 3. So let's just take a look at these filters real fast. Let's see. I have a sneaking suspicion that we're getting hit on these filters. Oh, well. Probably need to put the 4 in. There we go. Hit save. Save the scenario. I'm going to run this. Type in 4. All right, there we go. So looking at this on here, we can see that it says, this is great to hear. If you could give us a review on Yelp, that would mean the world to us. And then we click the Yelp page and it takes us right over to Yelp. So let's try the 3 or below, shall we? We're going to run this. I'm going to type in a 2 on my phone right now. Run that through. Boom. Sorry to hear. Oh, let me just zoom in here. I'm so sorry to hear your service wasn't incredible. I'll let the owner know as soon as possible and he can reach out directly. So now we have that. So we can go and check our emails real fast. Let's check our email. All right. Logged into the email. And here it is. Hi, owner. We had a negative review of yesterday's service. They scored it a 2. You may want to reach out to them. And then there's the phone number. Best your AI assistant. Great. So now the owner got notified that we got the negative score. So the next question that we have is, how do we trigger this so the day after the event we have this go out? So that's when we're going to be using, right now we're going to be using ClickUp, and we're going to use this due date, this triggered due date, to be able to monitor inside of Make over here to say if this is the right date, we're going to go ahead and send this. We're going to send through the review message and have this whole system working. So I'm going to run this guy on. Let me get that going. And now inside of ClickUp, let's just make another one so we can parse these 2 out so that we're only going to be getting the one that's after the due date. So Bob Smith, you're coming back in, my friend. And we're going to give him to be a week out. We're going to add in, I'll put in the same phone number, but it doesn't really matter now because it's going to be filtered out. And we'll do Bob at fakecompany.com, oil change, and big boy. All right. Great. So now we've got 2 of these going through, saved inside of the CRM system that we have. And now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create a filter that filters so that we only pass through just the person who's for the right date of the service. Now, the only thing about this is the fact that technically you would want to wait probably the day after the service to send this to them. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But because in the ClickUp right now, we don't have any past dates because this is a new account, I can't really go back in time and schedule it for a due date that didn't exist. So what I'm going to show you here is how to create a filter for this. And I'm going to show you the way to do this. And I'm going to put in another variable inside of here that we're going to be able to check this thing out. So I'm going to put inside this variable. We have this due date right here, and I'm going to move this guy down one. So this is due date. We're going to make another one. We're going to call it day after due date, just so you can see these coming through and how it actually do this. So I'm going to go here. We're going to copy the due date. And now we're going to want to add in another function that will look at the due date, and it's going to add a day to that, right? So we're going to look at the things. Okay, the system's going to flow in through ClickUp, and it's going to say, okay, is today the day after the due date? If so, send the message on through. And so I'm going to show you how to make that format, and I'm going to show you what that looks like because we're going to be able to look at the variables. So we're going to go into here, and we're going to type in format date right inside of here. There we go, format dates. And then we're going to just slide this. I'm going to copy this over, enter, just like that, format date. And we're going to want to put in month, day, year. So let's make that. And so that is the format date structure. And I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go here so that they're consistent. We're going to paste that, right? So now they're both being formatted on the same date, right? So how do we add a day to this? So the way that we do that is that we're going to be looking to add a day in front of this. And so the way that we do that is there's another function right here called add day right here. And if we look at this add day, if I was to hover over this, we can see here is, let me just add this in. There we go, add days. And if we hover over this, we can see that this add function here is we're going to put in the time function right in here, and then we want to add this little variable to the side. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. I'm going to copy that, close that, move the bracket over, and then we're going to do close bracket. And now this is going to look like, if we look at this add date function here, can I hover over this? It disappears on me. I can't scroll over. But you can see how there's a number 2 next to that. So what you're saying there is that you have the time. You're looking at the time right there with the 2016, 12, right? And then there's a 2 next to it. So that's basically says add 2 days to this date. That's what this is saying. Add 2 days to this date. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go inside of here, and we want to add in a second date or a second day right here. So you can see this right here. We have the date. So we're formatting the date, and we're adding 2 days to that. We're going to close that out. And we can see that this is going to be the day after. I'm going to save that variable, right? And so now we've got this variable inside of here just like this. And technically, because I can't send the day after all the way through, well, I'm going to run it right now. You're going to see what this does here. So right here, we're going to add a filter, and you're going to see this stop it. And we're going to add this filter label called if the day after. Right? And the way that's going to look like is we can say is format date. If we say the due date, which is going to be month, day, year, year. If that is equal to, and this is where we're gonna paste in this day after, is equal to this number. So we're gonna say, no, we don't want that. We're gonna put that in the top. Yeah. I'll put this in here. So we're going to say basically if the due date is the day after. So like, let's just say, what is today? Today is, geez, I don't even know what day it is. The 5th of June. So technically it says if the due date plus a day is June 6th, and that's equal to this, then send that over. We're going to format the date here. I'll show you this. Whoa. Close it out. Close it out. I'm going to go into format date. Just like that. And we're going to say now. I'm going to explain this because I know it's a lot of moving parts going on. And probably like, you might be like, what the hell's going on here? All right. Month, day, year. Okay, cool. So let me explain this. We're going to say if the due date coming in is not 2, we're going to want 1, is the next day. If the due date is July 10th, we're going to add a day, which is going to make it July 11th. And what we're saying here is if now is July 11th, then send it through. Neither one of these are going to be right, so it's going to stop it. And I'm going to show you what this looks like when I hit run. So I'm going to hit run. This filter just blocked both bundles, which were both of these people coming through the system. And I'm going to show you why it blocked it. This one right here, we can take a look at this for the output for Bob Smith. The due date was June 12th. And the day after would be June 14th. Oh, I added the 2 there. I added the 2 to the variable. Yeah, there it is. Now it's only 1 day. Glad we checked. And so the same thing's going to be true with this one. The due date was on June 5th, and the day after is going to be June 7th. So I'm going to run this again so now we have this accurate. It's going to block it again. There we go. Cool. So now that we changed the add days from 2 to 1, it only added 1 day. And we can see here, due date was June 12th, The day after is June 13th. And the same thing is true with this other one. The due date was June 5th. And the day after the due date is June 6th. And this filter right here is checking right now for anything that's going on with the day after. And that's how we would trigger a day after message. Because right now we're filtering it right now to say, hey, is the filter that we're looking for, this today's date, is it equal to the due date plus one additional day, right? And so what I'm going to do here, because we can't technically send this through because I can't go back in time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this condition to just be, it's just be the day, right? So here, instead of adding the day right here, we're going to get rid of that add days. So technically, right now, we're going to send the review the day of, just so that it can go through the system and then we can test out this whole flow. So in theory, what this is going to do is it's going to look at these two messages right now, and it's going to go, okay, this one is due today. And I have a filter that is looking for anything that is due today. And if it is equal to today, then we're going to send that through for a review. I'm going to hit save here. And this other one, Mr. Bob Smith here, is on June 12th. And that is going to get blocked. And so when I run this, we're going to be able to send that message off only for the person who had the service work that has been due, right? So that we can send out that message. So I'm going to hit run. And let's make sure we have our other scenario running. That's running nicely. So we're going to hit run right now. It's going to go through. It's going to go off. This message went off to me. A friendly reminder to see how the service was. We can see that it's waiting for a message to come back. And you can see this here again. This is the message that just went through right now. I'm going to now message back, how was the service? We're going to type in 4. All right. And now you can see we got that review that came through. It says, hey, it was a 4. Great job. Go to Yelp and go ahead and give us an amazing review. So how would we run this on autopilot? Like, what would this look like? How would we have this thing checking every single day? The way that we're going to do this is we could just turn this on. So now this is always just going to be running. And then what we can do here inside of this system is we can have this running every day, and we can pick a certain time. Let's just pick every day. And we want this to happen at, we'll say, 6:57 a.m. And that's going to go out every day. So I'm going to click save. And so now what's going to happen is this. We turn this thing on, just like this. Now every day, this automation is going to run. It's going to run. And this is going to happen. Every day it's going to check our CRM system that we have built. And it's going to be looking at the due dates. If there's anything that's going to come through, that's the due date, or what we have at due date plus 1, right? The add 1. It's going to run through the system. It's going to send the Twilio message off to do the rating and review. If the rating and review is above 4, send survey. If it's below 4, alert the owner. And that is it. That is how you can set up a review system on autopilot that will parse the difference and get feedback from customers. And if they're above a certain score, send them off to give us a review. If they're below a certain score, we send it off to our owner. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like or a comment, and or maybe even a subscribe. You know, this is what I heard the kids are doing these days. But either way, stay tuned for day number 17 of the challenge as we build out more of these amazing AI agents and automated workflows. Thank you so much. My name is Dylan. Take care, much love, and I will see you on the other side. Bye now.